completely upfront. I'm not trying to trick anybody about what this is. She is a character. I don't think she's real. So let's, I don't need meds or anything. So.
Hello and welcome to the Rose and Rockstar from the Rockstar CMO effing marketing podcast and the Marketing Podcast Network. I'm your host, Ian Truscott, managing partner of Velocity B. It's Saturday the 20th of December, and in a moment I'll join my chum Robert Rose, Chief Troublemaker at Seventh Bear, in our virtual bar, the Rose and Rockstar, where over one of his fabulous cocktails I'll pick his brains on a marketing topic that is top of mind for me. However, this week, as we ease into the holidays, we're doing something a little bit different, not talking directly about marketing, but a fascinating AI collaboration project Robert has been working on, as he has unveiled the next country music star, Lyla Ray Hightower. But first, we need to pay the bar tab. I'll be back in a moment.
We'll be right back after this word.
We'll be right back.
After this word.
When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
Hello, my friend. Welcome to the bar.
Thank you very much, mate. And how are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's Christmas time. I can't complain at all. It's lovely. Family, friends. It's the best time of year. It's one of my favorite times of year. So it's fantastic.
Splendid. I was going to ask you actually whether you were a Christmas person, and it sounds like you are. So that's fantastic.
It's this whole season. The holiday season is my go-to. I love this whole season.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, same here. We've got family. I cook and all of that stuff. Do you cook? Or
same here.
Yeah, nice. And I basically end up in the kitchen for the whole day because I do like smoked salmon and scrambled eggs for like brunch, and we open our gifts, and then I do lobster bisque. We have the same stuff every year, and then I do the roast turkey, and then the Christmas pudding. And so I'm basically in the kitchen, either cooking something or washing something up.
Oh, nice.
That's my Christmas. I love it.
Nice.
All right. And I presume that you have got something seasonal on the bar this evening.
I have. Well, I don't know how seasonal it is, but it is seasonal. Well, here's what I'll tell you. It's so it's a martini. So you'll be proud of me for that. It's called an Alaska. And so it is built for the cold, sort of thing. But it's basically a variation on a martini. So you basically you start with 2 ounces of your favorite gin. Good gin, fantastic gin. You need a great gin for martinis, and whatever floats your boat there. I'm a Bombay Sapphire guy myself.
Yes.
And then you want just call it 3/4 of a part. So if you do 2 ounces of gin in your martini, then you're going to do 3/4 of an ounce of yellow chartreuse, which is not hard to find. It sounds like it's a hard thing to find, but it's not a hard thing to find. Yellow chartreuse.
Okay.
And then 2 dashes, like literally like shakes of the bottle of the orange bitters. It's a lovely cocktail. It's, if you want to put it into like a fancy martini glass, that's what to do to make it really festive for the mood.
Yeah.
But it's just a lovely, lovely cocktail. Kind of a variation on a martini, and great for a cold winter's night.
Nice. Sounds lovely. What's yellow chartreuse like?
Yeah. What is yellow chartreuse?
Yeah. What is it like? What's the flavor? You're putting in the gin there.
It's like other chartreuses. It's sort of a sweeter, a sweetener sort of liqueur. And then it's the yellow is simply the color, right? So you're getting a little. So what you're doing is you're ultimately changing the color of gin in the cocktail from a clear gin to more of a champagne color, if you will.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that looks. And I think any martini is great for the holiday. So I think you've. And I think that if you think about the famous holiday movies like White Christmas and stuff, you can see those guys just sitting around drinking martinis. So it's a holiday cocktail, I say.
Yeah, it's very much very much a holiday cocktail because it's nice. Sweeter. It's it's got that honey taste to it. It's really quite lovely. And then you add the orange bitters to it, and then you sort of add the fall and the winter sort of mood to it. And it's a lovely, lovely cocktail.
All right, well, I'm going to, to your relief, probably, as you're winding down for the holidays, I'm not going to hit you up with a big marketing question this week because it's the holidays. I'm actually going to ask you about, I was listening to Apple Music today, and I came across this artist called Lyla Ray Hightower, Robert. Have you heard of her? Are you familiar with her work?
I have heard of her. She is my character. This is an art project that I have spent working, I guess, the last 6 months in some form, probably more intently in the last 3 months. She is an AI character, singer, leader of a band, country music. And basically the very quick story is, call it almost 20 years ago now, between 15 and 20 years ago, I was writing a lot of music and doing a lot of songs for TV and earning a little bit of a side income from doing that, sort of doing soundtrack music. And I wrote a lot of music. I would spend good amount of my weekends and evenings writing music and submitting them to libraries and having shows like, Pimp My Ride and The Jersey Shore and other MTV shows that would pick up my music for what they call fill music, which is basically, hey, they're changing scenes or they're, the background is changing or whatever. And you'll hear music in the background. It's like that, they're just, it's ostensibly stock music. You're adding yourself to stock music library, but for a very specific purpose. But I wrote a lot of songs. And I had in my mind that I wanted to create a band, like a almost like a Gorillaz band from the 1990s, where you never saw the people behind it, and you never saw them live. They were only in the studio, and they only, and I wanted to create this sort of. At the time, it was going to be like an 80s sort of electronic music sort of band, and I called it Blue Shag. And the leader of the band was the leader of the band was a name that I had come up with. His name is Bobby Zax, which I still use to this day in various degrees. And so, and in fact, a lot of my friends call me Bobby Zax because they know, because I did that for a bit. And so, but then what happened was I couldn't ever pull it together because I don't sing. I couldn't ever afford a singer. I could never afford the studio time, which in those days you needed to really round out a great sound and a great song. And so I did everything in my little home studio, and I wrote, hundreds of little songs. Some of them full songs, some of them just pieces, some of them more soundtracky than really structured songs with lyrics. And then I also wrote lyrics for many of them. And they just, and ultimately I got busy, life got busy, et cetera. And I just sort of gave up on it. Now, cut to 2025, and this whole AI thing and Suno has really rekindled my love for music. And Suno introduced a feature back in March that is called the Suno Studio, which allowed you to not just use prompts to create music, but you could actually use your music. You could actually you can actually upload anything and it'll do it, but which is kind of weird, but you can upload your music, melodies, straight up just like one melody on piano, or you can upload full tracks, and you can ask it to then quote unquote cover that song, and you can slide a slider to say improvise a lot or don't improvise at all. In other words, just put instrumentation to this song. And it comes out and it's delightful, right? So all the things that I couldn't do with all these music, which I had, I have a song that has a great melody, but never had a guitar part because I don't play guitar, or didn't have a proper drum part because I'm not really a great program in drum machines. And so I uploaded these things just to test, to say, and it came back some interesting things. And then I said, well, I wonder if I plug my lyrics into these songs and structure them more and start to build a persona. They call them personas in Suno. If I can build something. And sure enough, out came Lyla Ray Hightower. And so I said, this will be fun. And so it's been my art project for the last 6 months to try and create this. And now we're out on Spotify and Apple Music, and she has her own website, and she has a little bio. And in the bio, I'm completely upfront. I'm not trying to trick anybody about what this is. She is a character. I don't think she's real. So I don't need meds or anything. But it's a totally fun art project. And to me, it's a way to tell a story like a novel or a movie or a TV series or something like that. Tell a story of a character, but do it through music. And it's becoming incredible. A fascination and a real love. I'm having the best time doing it.
Yeah, it's incredible. The URL for the website, it's Lyla Ray Hightower.
It's just LylaHightower.com.
LylaHightower.com. And Lyla is spelled with a Y. I kept
it simple for the URL. Yeah. I have both domains. So but Lyla Hightower will work and goes to the website. Cool. Which I will be changing because I hate I picked a website company to do this with, and it's like, it's icky. It's fine. It's fine for now, but it's going to change.
Well, I encourage listeners to go look at it, man, because if you want to see where this AI stuff is going, it is an astonishing case study that you've put together. Ostensibly, I wanted just to have a nice Christmas episode where we're just chatting about music and not about the future of websites or that kind of stuff or content. But I think it's a statement. It's a statement about where we are in creativity. I mean, you've created an EP that you can actually find on Apple Music. So listeners, if you search for Lyla Ray Hightower,
whatever your favorite music player is, it's on Amazon Music, it's on YouTube Music, it's on Spotify, Apple Music. If you just search for Lyla Ray Hightower, you'll find it.
Yeah, and there's a proper EP and all that good stuff. You've created a video as well as a whole website.
Video you can see on the website and on YouTube. Right now, you can't see it on YouTube because, as I was telling you backstage, YouTube has its own special draconian rules about how you set up a thing that takes weeks to get done. So it's hard. So once Lyla's channel is officially "quote unquote" approved, the video will be on YouTube as well. But right now, you can see it on the website.
Nice. And will you give me permission to play out with a little bit of that music when we finish our conversation, so that I can give the listeners a little bit of a sample of it?
Play A Good Way Home.
A Good Way Home. All right.
A Good Way Home. That's my favorite.
Now then,
it's the single. It's the single, if you will.
Yes. And when is Lyla Ray going to produce a Christmas song?
Yeah, that's that. Yeah. I actually hadn't thought about it, but you made me think about it. So I actually am now considering it. But you've just ate up my weekend, I think.
And I think it's about you. So this is a long project for you, 6-month project. As we were discussing before we hit record, you hear a lot of stories about how Spotify is getting swamped with AI content and all that stuff. But you've actually gone about this in the proper way, as it were. This is a proper artist that's been set up properly, right? Or are you the artist, or is Lyla Ray the artist? How's that all worked out?
I think I'm the artist. I'm the artist here. And what I would say to that is, it's a new way. It's not a new way, because it certainly has been done before. Mm-hmm. You think back to, you go back to somebody like Garth Brooks, right?
Yeah.
So Garth Brooks did it very unsuccessfully, by the way. Garth Brooks created a character of himself. Trying to remember the name of it now, and I can't off the top of my head. But he created this sort of alter ego pop star, and released an album. And it was basically just his exploration of a character, right? Now, the only difference between that and what I'm doing is that I'm not using a human to reproduce the character. I'm actually using AI to reproduce the character, but it is my music, my lyrics, and all of that. And there's a tension in that. I get it. I'm fully aware of the tension that exists in that, and I'm trying to live in it, right? I'm trying to live in the tension as an artist to say, is it? What is it, right? Just explore it. And so ultimately it gets to, well, what do you want out of this? Like, what is your goal, right? So unlike some of the others that have come out, like that actress that got, the AI actress that everybody's marketing, and then there's the woman who is charting on the gospel charts because she's created a fake character who she's marketing that person as a real person. She's marketing that artist as a real artist, and she thinks the artist is. And I'm not criticizing that, because I can see both sides of that story. It's not what I'm choosing to do. What I'm choosing to do is be completely upfront about it and say, this is AI. From the very beginning, this is going to, this is AI. It's my, and it's my music. Here's my process. There's a blog post on the website that walks through what I'm, what I'm trying to do. Ultimately, what do I want? I just want this thing to, it makes me happy that it's out there. I want people to hopefully enjoy the music. That's the biggest thing that I'm hopeful for, is that people enjoy what I'm doing. And ultimately, would I ever monetize it? Yeah. If a band came along and said, we really love this song, we'd love to cover it, go for it, right? I would. That would be my big win, is if a real band or a real artist came in and said, I want to cover this song because I think I can do it better, or do it justice, or whatever they believe. That would be my big win. But having a real artist cover this would be fantastic.
Amazing. Well, I mean, the way that you've set the foundation up for that, there's no reason why not, right? This music is perfectly discoverable, and also I found listening to it, you have the feels. I knew that our little short conversation was going to be too short for it, because it's opened up so many ideas and thoughts and questions. It gives, even I knew that it's artificial. You can feel the soul in the music. It's incredible, and I encourage people to listen to it. And I'll play a little bit of that song after.
It has, I'm proud of the lyrics, right? Yes. So that's a big piece of it. And I'm relatively good at finding a lyrical hook. Yep. Which is mostly what I have when I upload my music, is I've got a pretty good melodic hook. And it's pretty good at taking that. And so where I'm surprised, as I was telling you also backstage, is how good the music is often interpreted by the vocal part of it. Right? It doesn't sound robotic. It doesn't, now it sometimes does glitch out. Like it takes a number of passes to get to where you want it. And there will always be, in every pass, something that you can't change that you wish you could. And so in those cases, you are in some ways compromising full control over what it is you do for the, convenience, let's call it that, of being able to do it with the machine. And I use this metaphor as well, which is, I look at it a little bit like, the painters, right? Who will fill up a gallon paint can, poke a hole in the bottom, and then swing it from a rope and make a painting, right? Yeah. And as it drips out over the thing. You control some of that, but some of that you don't control. And it's like, okay, where is the artistry in that? Well, the artistry, of course, is in the colors that you choose, how you choose to swing the rope, how you choose to the size of the hole you put in the can. All of that is the artistry that you're creating, but some of it is out of your control and is just going to be either a happy accident or not, that you're going to live with or not. And that's feels like an appropriate metaphor for what you're doing here, which is the machine is going to give you, you can control things like the structure, the way it's going to work, et cetera, but you can't control certain aspects of it, and you're either going to live with that or not.
Nice. Well, if people want to find out what happened when you swung the AI rope, where would they find Lyla Ray?
Goodness gracious. Yeah. Well, they won't learn. So go to LylaHightower.com. You can check out that there, right? You know, if you all their marketing stuff is, of course, is seventhbear.com.
Okay.
But Lyla Hightower is where I'd point everybody. And of course, on your Spotify and Apple Music and, YouTube or whatever you like.
And when they want to find the musical mogul that is behind Lyla Ray and they spin the dial on the interwebs, where they're going to find you, mate?
They're going to find me on LinkedIn, and they'll also find me on YouTube as well. But LinkedIn is probably the place to connect.
Nice. And for me, will you be back in the bar after the holidays, mate?
Of course.
I'll see you then, mate. I'll see you then. Cheers.
I live with lightning in my pocket. Swore the world was mine to roam. Chasing skylines, chasing meaning. Trying hard to build my own. But time has a way of softening edges, showing you things you thought you'd outgrown. Funny how the road can turn you. It's a long way, but it's a good way home.
Thank you, Robert. And that was a little bit of a good way home. I know it wasn't a conversation about marketing and maybe country music isn't your thing, but if you want to get a sense of how far we've got with synthetic creativity, I encourage you to take a look at LylaHightower.com, and that's Lyla with a Y, by the way. So that's a wrap on our visit to the Rose and Rockstar, not just for this week, but for 2025. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks as Robert takes a well-earned break from our little blend of mixology and marketing. I've been your host, Ian Truscott. Thank you so much for being part of our audience and community. Whether you've liked us on LinkedIn, dropped a review, followed us, been in touch, or just listened, I'm so glad you've been here. And of course, you can find all the links to all of our shenanigans in the show notes at rockstarcmo.com, where you can also find links to subscribe, our blog, and all of our previous episodes. Well, that's it from our guests until the new year. I'll drop a solo special into the feed and maybe some reflections on what we've been discussing during this year. In the meantime, enjoy the holidays. And my chums, Jeff, Robert and Kathy, will be back in the new year here on the Rockstar CMO effing marketing podcast.
This podcast is heard along the Marketing Podcast Network. For more great marketing podcasts, visit marketingpodcasts.net.